I get the cheat code, I'm a beast. They said they'll never let me out of lease. Stop out the cap, I'm just tryna see. You really back what you talk on the beat. They put me in, I'ma walk on the beat. I eat my plate and it make me obese. I been pushing lyrics like a kingpin. And when today we got no rings.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How you guys doing?
I'm loving this new atmosphere that we have. This is
Y'all
cool.
see the new digs, right? We need money. So y'all got to buy cups and sweaters. Location, baby. We broke, baby. We done spent all of our money on a new TV with the new logo and everything
the lights.
else.
You see the lights?
We got lights on the side.
That's gold trim on the lights.
We doing
Gold
all
trim.
bigger and better things in 2023 for all of us and for all of y'all. So I appreciate it. Buy a coffee mug, man. I'm always trying to sell people something from us. I'm always trying to sell our merchandise. We got to. If we don't do it, who will?
Facts.
Could you think about how many independent artists have merchandise for sale on their websites and stuff and don't sell it?
Yeah.
Right.
I know an artist. I watch an artist every day that he gets online and always has a new challenge. He's always trying to figure out how he can get somebody to do something so he can give them something. But he never tries to sell any of the stuff that he has for sale. He never tells anybody to download his videos or his music or follow him on this platform. He's never trying to merge.
But you have to. You have to give people instruction.
Yeah, you got to tell them what.
Yeah.
I had this conversation just recently. If you'll watch all of the big major news outlets, CNN, whoever it is, if you watch their YouTube videos, at the end, they're going to have one of their biggest on-air personalities. Hey, this is Steve so-and-so, and thanks for tuning in. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for all of our videos.
Exactly.
Like, even if you watch or pay attention or read the YouTube blogs or the best practices, they always tell you to incorporate an introduction video. And now with that new 8-second rule where you gotta no profanity in the first 8 seconds or your ass is out of here, you'll definitely want to start incorporating some of those best practices. The hooks. I was just talking with a cinematographer the other day. I'm not a cinematographer, so anything I know about videos, I know because I watch them or because I know people in the industry. And we have an amazing cinematographer here. Shout out to Newland Creators. Anyways, I was talking to a cinematographer and he's like, the way that we capture stuff, the way that we have to record it, the way we have to put it out, you have to have a hook. And I'm like, well, what's a hook? Lame to the game. What's a hook? He's like, well, if you ever watched a video and they kind of show you what's going to happen in the video in the first 3 seconds, yeah, he's like, that's a hook. That's how they hook you.
The first 3 seconds really matter.
So the first 3 seconds, it could be an overall, or it could be a strong intro, or it could be, use trigger words or keywords, but finding that sweet spot. And I think that's where most people are afraid to be creators, because they don't know what that sweet spot is and they don't want to fail. So coming out and looking lame or looking square or doing all of this and not having nobody watch it, it's kind of disheartening. And I get that. I really do. But you have to, in order to do it right, you have to do it wrong sometimes. You got to get out there and fail at it. It's like riding a bike. Only way you're going to learn how to not fall down is to fall down, scrape your knee 3 or 4 times, you're going to learn balance.
Exactly.
Or you're not going to want to ride a bike.
Exactly, one or the other.
One or the other. And,
I know a lot of people, and especially artists, that do not like to fail. Once they have an established image, starting over new isn't something that they are willing to do.
You gotta fail. Like, that's life. Like, if you're not failing, it means you're not trying. And if you're not trying something, how are you gonna know what works? Because the world is constantly evolving and changing. I love it. You gotta fail.
I'm scared of the people that won't acknowledge their failures or won't admit to it. Those are the people that terrify me, because they're always looking for somebody else to blame, especially the ones that have money, because they want to pay you to do something that they want it done their way, so then they can blame you for it fucking up.
Wow. I did a panel once at the SEA Awards, and there were like 10 industry people on this panel, and we were talking about where we fucked up.
Right.
It's probably the best panel I've ever done. I learned so much from that panel, because I learned, first of all, if you don't try something, you don't know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But I also learned that failing is okay, and that people more successful than me have fucked up and lived.
Right.
And lived.
Well, and you also learn the foundation and the basis of things, where some things didn't succeed because you didn't have your foundation implemented. It wasn't strong. Your idea was just a thought. It was flawed. And then now that you've gotten past that onto your next one, you're going to make sure that you don't have those red flags or those failures at the beginning.
Right.
You're going to make sure you avoid them or have all of the things in place. And that's where I think most artists, most labels, most teams got it fucked up at. Because nobody is trying to learn from this release. Everybody thinks they're doing it right. Nobody thinks they're doing it wrong. Nobody wants to feed into it. So nobody is learning what was done right or wrong with this release, which is going to prohibit us from making the best move for the next release. Because if we're doing the same thing for the next release that we did for this release, then we've already failed.
Right.
Because the next release, there's some type of evolution that have gotten there, whether it's 10 streams, 10 extra subscribers, a new platform, a new video. There's something that's going to have grown or shaped into that next release. And if we're mimicking that, it's just failure.
Do you follow Sherry Hugh? I think it's Water and Music. She has a blog where music meets tech. And they tried to do a study over the past few months where they measured how we all measure our marketing campaigns. And they couldn't do the research because they found that we don't measure our marketing campaigns.
There is no case studies. There is no...
None. They were trying to do this and they couldn't. It doesn't exist in music. How?
Well, because
How does it not?
most independent and most amateurs, you'll see the transition from amateur to professional. In this business, the amateur is a professional in their mind, off top. That's why most independent artists don't have ISRCs. They don't have UPCs.
Right.
They don't know upload dates. They don't mix and master engineer names.
Right.
They don't have lyrics, because all of those things are a piece of the puzzle that you're required to have. And if you don't know the manpower or the dollar amount that is necessary to acquire those tools and then what to do with them and then consistently release them in order to gauge a football team's progress, a basketball team's progress, the COVID team, anybody, any type of scientist group, there has to be a checks and balance, and there's failures, and there's study groups, and there's learning from our mistakes and making sure that we don't make those mistakes in the next phase. Most independent artists don't have that.
And we have hubris, like you just said. It's hubris LLC.
Right. So
it's crazy.
I think that's
hubris is when you think. I didn't mean to look at you. Hubris is when you think you know everything and you move forward as if it's fact, as if your assumption is fact.
And it is not.
And it's never.
Well, I think that also plays a part of like the artist thinking that the hardest part of their thing is the music. And in my opinion, that's the easiest thing.
It's the easiest thing.
And all the stuff that goes on in the background, what you're talking about is the most difficult part, because that requires the tedious conversations, meetings, the execution, and
the work.
They just want to go, and I'm not trying to speak for all of them, but based off of the sample size, they just want to go in the studio and knock out records.
That costs money. You know, even an artist, if an artist plays a guitar and they're talented at playing a guitar and they want to perform for large amounts of people, they have to go down to a place where they're going to go play their guitar at. Yeah. And chances are they're not going to get any money for playing their guitar. And somebody's going to be in there to hear them play their guitar and be like, hey, man, I'm recording a group and I would love to put you on a song. Or, hey, man, I happen to have a record label and an opportunity may present itself. But make no mistake about it, that person still actively has to go out and do that.
And what are the chances of this successfully happening?
I remember, and shout out to Tampa Mystic, I remember when we was in GME.
I love her.
Tampa.
I remember when we was in GME one night for one of the Tampa Mystic events, and out of all the people to walk into the crowd, of all the nights and all the crazy days, Andre Ice Cold 3000 walks into the crowd and sits at the bar and to watch independent artists perform. You never know.
How random and amazing.
You never know who was going to be in there. Wendy Day could be in the back having a meeting with some independent label, and you may catch her ear. Rari Simmons may be at the bar talking to the manager about cutting a deal to come host. You never know who's in the building. And the fact that you're not willing to go out and perform in front of an empty house or a packed house like your life depends on it means you really don't want this. This isn't what you want to do. This is something that you have fun doing.
Right.
And if you have fun doing it, then continue to do it as fun. Make it a hobby. Disregard what we say and make the best versions of your music. Put it up, get your SoundCloud page and go dummy. But if you want to make money and you really want to do this as a career and you want to hopefully put yourself on and bring your people, your day ones on and buy your mama a house and do all the stuff that, you know, you see everybody doing, then at some point in time, you got to treat what you create as a product that has to be marketed and sold.
But can we also talk about, you know, a lot of artists have the extreme success. I'm going to make millions of dollars and da-da-da-da-da. But there are a large population of artists that don't make that amount of money. They make an average amount, which is a lot of them. So for every Drakes there could be, I don't want to throw anybody's names out there, it could be like
20 independent that just dropped their first project.
Right.
Who was the last artist that went
That don't
platinum
make as
on
much money.
their debut album?
Debut
Cue
album.
the Jeopardy music. If any of the fans watching Coders, if you know the name of the last artist, let's say the last rapper, let's narrow it down. Give me the name of the last rapper to go platinum on their debut
I
album.
can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't
I can't remember that.
That
I
should
think it's
tell
been-
you
that's been a
everything that
while.
we need to know. Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. And so what we have to understand is that, and we've talked about this on one of our episodes, nobody is strong enough to hold up the weight of anyone's expectations. If you want to make $1 million with your music, how? You don't own it. How do we make $1 million? I'm going to sell out shows. Cool. Where? What markets do we go to first? Oh, man, where are they listening to you first? That'll be the first and easiest one. They're listening to you in New Hampshire. The first 10 markets that you got at least 500 listeners in, at least 500 active listeners in, that's your tour. That's your tour.
Funny story. I was out. I think I showed you guys DM the last show. I was out, and the gentleman DM'd me. He was like, "Oh, Ferrari, man, I love the cheat code." Da 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 da. He was like, "So who's the cheat code?" So I was like, "That's us." They was like, "No, I know Wendy Dad, I know Kingpin, I know Ferrari, but who's the cheat code?" I was like, "That's us." He was like, "Wait, no, who's the company?" I was like, "That's us. That's our company." He was like, "Oh my God, that is so genius." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a teachable moment for you." We started a podcast.
All of this is a
that
teachable
we
moment.
own.
Yeah.
This is ours.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Right, we have our production team is our team. Our creative team is our team. Everything
Yes.
has come in-house.
And it's a third,
That's
and a
usually
third.
not what happens because I'm also on another podcast, but I don't own that podcast. But
Right.
I'm on this podcast that I co-own with you guys.
Exactly.
And
And it was your idea. Thank you very much.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much because it's given us an amazing opportunity to talk to people that may have
it's
not have
fun.
wanted to hear the ugly truth.
So you just said something that I want to expand. I'm sorry. Did you have a topic? Okay. You said the first 8 seconds. So can we talk about YouTube for a second? Because I'm
Oh my
struggling
God!
with YouTube right now.
First of all, let's talk about that shorts, baby. Can y'all go back 40 some odd weeks? Can we go back 40 some odd episodes, please?
Thank you
Please
for
and thank
teaching
you.
us about
and
YouTube
talk about
Shorts.
YouTube Shorts because
Yes.
is this thing on?
Yeah.
Starting February 1st, YouTube Shorts will now be monetized.
Monetized.
Player.
My YouTube shorts are popping. by
Yeah.
the way.
And listen,
So's
as
cheat
long
code
as we keep
shorts. Yeah.
the content original,
Yeah.
as long as we don't, and this is where it's important for us to understand, even when we share the cheat code content, whoever puts it up first, that's who owns it.
That's who owns it.
Yes.
And when you reshare it, if you're trying to reshare an individual piece of content, like, okay, I'm going to record this and I'm going to re-upload it on my own,
You have to change it.
you guys channels is
Can
going to
you
get
elaborate on that
demonetized.
again? You said whoever puts it up first
Owns it. Content ID is a mofo. That's why when certain video company that everybody hollered out their name when you were getting ready to get your life taken away from you and get beat down to a pulp. Well, they were famous for
World
charging
Star.
artists,
Sorry.
right? They were famous for charging artists money to get on their platform and then charging them extra to get on their channel because their channel had X million subscribers and X million this, that, and the third. But when you gave them, they wanted to premiere the video. Sidebar, whoever puts it up first owns it. So that's their video. That's their song. So when a director tells me, I got 178,000 subscribers, bro, the video got to drop on my page first. No problem. What they do is going to drop it. It'll drop at 12. You drop it on your page. I'm going to go into my artist page and I'm going to drop it 1 minute before it's supposed to drop on the other guy's page. Because check this out, baby. It belonged to us.
Yes. As it should be.
You put 15 logos in it. Chances are, I just got an email this morning before I came into the cheat code with a list of things for an independent artist that submitted their record, their video to Universal, a clean video for television consideration. I got a list. The list was so long that the rep from the label said, y'all shouldn't even bother doing this one. Just skip on to the next one and we'll whitelist the video. But these are problems that we had discussed and encountered 3 or 4 months before. So who do we blame? Do we blame the artist because you're being eclectic and you think this is 1993 and you want to redo Nelly Tip Drill? Do we blame the label for empowering said artists to do this? Or do we blame the video director and the editor because ultimately these are the guys, if they've been recording videos and have never had one placed, then I should never expect them to know what it takes to get a video on network television. But if they ever plan on getting a video on network television, I would expect that they would be well enough versed in the requirements, in the specifications, even in the limitations of the content that can be displayed on screen. and make either a clean edit to a video or make a suggestion when filming the video. Hey, bro, maybe we don't want to use them 9mm pistols right now in this clip. Maybe we can save that for the the extra clip at the club scene later on. This looks really good right now. This could be BET, MTV-ish. But no, we want the whole keeping it real. Like, oh, this is a suspect in 3 murders with a 9mm, and look, he's in the video waving a 9mm at us. And then we wonder
open warrants.
And then we wonder why it goes downhill and goes south. So
Yeah.
when it comes to YouTube, listen, man. Most kids, first of all, you're not supposed to have a YouTube channel if you're a child. That's why you can't advertise the kids.
Didn't know that.
Okay. So the first thing that you do when you're in the car with your kids, not saying you or me or us, but the first thing that a parent does when they're in the car with their kids and they're making noise is what? Give them the phone here. First thing the kid does, go on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's why your YouTube watch history has all those kid cartoons and all that
They
nonsense.
actually have
in
a
it.
YouTube Kid app, but yes.
For the most part, most of the adults, most of the artists that'll come in and they'll give us the logins to go to their channel. You can watch their recent histories and you know which ones have kids because it's a whole bunch of kid videos on there.
Yeah.
But in those kid videos, since that channel is not added to an appropriate age for a child, guess what that child is seeing in between cartoons? Raphael Warnock decided to run his baby's mother over and kill so much so that my 6-year-old daughter looks me in the face and tells me, I don't want you to vote for Raphael Warnock. He tried to kill his wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the things that we have to understand is that these platforms are vested not in business, but in making money from the society that it informs and entertains.
Yeah.
So there's a time when they have to be more responsible. And the shock rap and the guns and the ass cheeks and all that stuff. Listen, you can upload a video if you're so insistent on it. You can upload the video and don't lie. Say it's over 18 and it has to be adult restricted. Say it has profanity.
But even when we do that, we're getting rejected.
No.
And it's not just us getting rejected, it's the entire industry. Our
Yes.
videos are getting rejected left and right.
Because of the content and advertising.
Yes.
Because people
Yes.
want to advertise it. And they understand that when you're advertising it, you're trying to get it to more people. Do these platforms want to be responsible for selling the next possible song that is going to be used in court? Is
They
Google
do
going to be?
not.
They do not. So guess what? It's
They're
a form of
rejecting
censorship.
everything.
They're censoring it.
We've got a video with an artist. You know, you can't smoke on YouTube
No drug
and
references,
advertise
no
it exactly.
smoking, none of that good
So
stuff.
we've got an artist who is barbecuing, and there's a lot of smoke. And it got rejected. I'm like, okay, it got rejected. And we shot it knowing that we don't want it to get rejected. So we took extra care on this video. It got rejected. So we went in and had YouTube manually view it 4 times. And all 4 times they rejected it because of the barbecue smoke.
Wow.
Like, what sense does that make?
It doesn't make any
It's
sense.
really hard to get through YouTube right now.
Absolutely.
And I thought it was just us. And I've been talking to my industry friends
It's
in the
everybody.
past couple of weeks, and it's everybody. Like Universal's getting rejected, Warner's getting, like, everybody's getting rejected.
And now that all
It's
these kids are
crazy.
running around signing all these multiple deals, running off on the plug, all of these phenomenal videos that they're filming are getting taken down because that artist was signed to another label and the person who still owns that contract feels he's owed.
Right.
So that nice $10,000 video that you
Right.
just shot up and put on BET video, take
Get
that
pulled
down,
down.
buddy. That belonged to me.
Damn.
Yep.
Dear Cheat Code, what are y'all's 3's top 5 rappers of all time?
Knock it off. Top 5 rappers of all time. Rappers. I'm
Your-
going to cheat. I'm going to give you Outkast, Wu-Tang Clan. That's 2. Because even though there's 2 and 15 of them, I'm going to give you those 2 right there. Wu-Tang, Outkast. Nas. Tupac and Biggie.
Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Rakim, Lady London.
Andre 3000. It's crazy. I wasn't an Outkast fan. I was an Andre 3000 fan.
3 Stacks.
Andre 3
Ice Cold.
Stacks. I was a big Tupac fan, even though he passed away. I was in 5th grade. So Tupac.
Wow, I'm old.
Damn.
Wow.
I know this sounds crazy, but I'm a big Toxic. I love Toxic music, even
Future.
though I'm untoxic. Yeah, Future's
Future.
my guy, man.
Yeah.
And then I've never sold drugs, even though I tried to sell weed one time. It didn't work.
Jeezy?
Jeezy.
Yeah.
That's 4. How many is that, 4?
I wasn't
think so.
counting.
Give us
And
another
then
one. Give just
T.I.
case. T.I.?
Yeah.
Nice.
That whole little Future T.I. Jeezy time frame. That's
Yeah, I think asking
That
me to
made
give
me-
you 5
Yeah.
of my favorite artists of all time is just like knock it off. Don't do that.
I hate that question because it changes for me daily,
does change.
probably hourly.
Yeah,
it
don't.
does change.
It really
It's on the
changes.
spot. But who are the artists that I may listen to the most? I think I named them with those 5. I think I can, any mood that I want, I can throw those in. But then again, I throw on any of the dedications from Lil Wayne. Like, how can I leave Lil Wayne out of that
damn,
conversation?
see, damn.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So when I'm in a mood, I'll
Wayne,
throw on
shit.
Reasonable Doubt Jay-Z. So how can I leave Jay-Z out of that conversation considering his body of work? And then, well, did I throw anybody in from the West Coast? I didn't include Snoop, blasphemy. I didn't include Dre. Like, when you start to think about it, like, okay, if I'm going out west, and that means I had to stop in Texas. I didn't throw nobody from Texas on the list.
Yeah.
I didn't throw nobody from Louisiana on the list.
Yeah.
And everything that they've been able to bring to the culture,
Right.
Cash Money, nobody from there is on there. Drake is on the list, the #1 selling artist of the last 10 years.
My favorite rappers are Raz, Kaz, and Jeezy, and they're not on my list, but they're my favorite. That's who I listen to most. Pimp C.
Right. You feel what I'm saying
I
to you?
listen
So
to
that list, I don't
UGK
know, bro.
probably
I
more
gave
than
you the
anything.
names that I thought would definitely, if I had to give you 5 people that I would just listen to for the rest of my life, those 5 names is there. But to say that Dr. Dre didn't have an impact on my life, Lil Wayne, Cash Money, some of these guys, and as Poor Righteous Teachers, Black Sheep, A Tribe Called Quest,
Mac from No Limit. Ah, man.
Trick Daddy,
I love Mac.
Bust
What a good dude.
Down,
TWD,
you know, Tom G. These guys
Tom G.
to me was, I've been listening to Tom G for 15, 20 years.
Yeah,
Right.
me too.
So Tommy is a Florida-like legend. You know what I
Legend.
mean?
Yes.
And some of his records I could listen to. Frank Lenny, I still listen to Frank Lenny's first
Lenny,
album,
boy,
I'm
what you know
All
about
In.
that, man?
That first album is
Fort
still...
Myers.
Yeah, I get
Fire.
goosebumps when I think about
Remember,
that
it was
album.
him and Plies, like, at one particular moment. It was neck and neck.
Yeah, so, you know, it's...
Frank
Yes,
Lenny,
it's going to
damn.
change, man. Frank Lenny, bro, the All In
So
project, y'all get that.
who
I need
are
to go
your
pull that
top
back
5
up.
executives in the industry?
Ooh.
Oh shit! Dylon, and Dylon. I definitely think Wendy Day is my #1 favorite executive. After Wendy Day, I'm gonna say Shauna Reed. After Shauna Reed, I'm gonna say, and I'm putting them in no particular order. I'm definitely gonna throw Tony, my business partner, in there. I'm definitely gonna throw Dove. I love Dove Lee. I
love
think
Dove.
Dove is amazing.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to get some money, then I'm going to throw Janie Jennings in the mix only because I know what she does and how she can burrow in for the cash. And I think those are some of my favorite people.
That's awesome.
Some of my favorite people in the business, yeah. Were that all women?
Tony. No, you said
Tony,
Tony.
okay, but yeah, crazy.
I kind of will have to go off of like people I have relationships with, and I've seen them. Like I like Lester Pace,
I love Lester Pace.
love Wendy Day.
I love Wendy Day.
Lester's the OG. Shout out to
Yeah.
Lester
Lester's
Pace.
the OG.
At
Lester's
Lester
amazing.
Pace. If you're not
And
following him, you should.
he has like a tree of people that I talk to.
Yes.
And they all
Shout out to
Yes.
Ricardo Hunter. Shout out to DJ Rocksteady.
One person I'm gonna say is Tunde from LVRN. That's my guy.
How could I forget about Tuma?
Yeah.
Tuma.
YouTube.
Yes,
Oh my
Tuma.
God.
I saw Tunde literally come from nothing. How many is that? That's 3?
I don't know. I wasn't counting.
You said 5? That's bad.
I know. I couldn't do it. I was asked this last night on Ray Daniels' show, and I could name 2.
Justin Valentine, aka Blogzilla, Brittany, aka Buttercup P.
I would say
Slim.
Jay-Z. Jay-Z's a good one. He's a good one for me.
I like
seen
John
it.
Maneely, who ran Rockefeller 4J.
What Jay-Z do you mean? Jigga Man Jay-Z,
Yeah, Jay-Z.
or the other Jay-Z, our Jay-Z, the Jay-Z with the, what you call it? With the label, with the distributor. Is that what his name is, Jay-Z? What's his name?
Help me.
We'll talk after.
Now, can I also name does it have to be music? Because I have radio people that.
No,
Matt
it
Buser
could
is
be-
another one of my favorite
There's
executives.
the big dog, Doc Winters. He's a big deal.
Oh,
on iHeart.
yes.
What's
He's
your
a
boy's name?
star.
Vince. Vince Phillips is another one of my
Vince
favorite
Phillips,
guys.
yeah.
Vince is another good guy. Vince be moving and grooving.
Facts.
So, yeah. Wendy Day,
Wendy Day for sure.
Shauna Reed,
Shauna Reed for sure.
and Kingpin. I'm your favorite executive. Fuckers.
Just saying.
Fuckers. Fuck wrong with y'all? I'm not your favorite.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, and I better be.
Jesus, the Kodai.
Cheat code.
Get a cup.